The story begins with a notorious criminal named Frank Morris, who was sent to a high-security prison called Alcatraz. Alcatraz was built on an island in the middle of the sea, from where no prisoner had ever escaped. Frank, however, was infamous for escaping prisons. He had broken out of many before, but no one had even dared to dream of escaping from Alcatraz. Upon his arrival, Frank was thoroughly searched and then led to his cell, where he was to spend the rest of his life. The next morning at breakfast, Frank met an old prisoner named Litmus, who kept a pet rat. During their conversation, Frank noticed another prisoner, Wolf, openly provoking him. Frank ignored him and continued talking to Litmus. Soon after, Frank was called to the warden's office for a briefing, where the warden threatened him, warning that many had tried to escape, but none succeeded. During this encounter, Frank discreetly stole a nail cutter, a seemingly insignificant item, but in a prison like Alcatraz, even the smallest tools could become valuable. Back in his cell, Frank hid the nail cutter inside his Bible. Later, during a group shower, Wolf confronted him again. This time, Frank retaliated, beating Wolf and earning a reputation inside the prison. Over time, the prison library became Frank's second home, where he met English, the jail's librarian. English had lost hope of ever leaving Alcatraz and immersed himself in books. Both Frank and English shared a love for history, which bonded them. Frank also befriended Doc, a talented artist who painted to keep his mind sane. One evening, Frank learned about a carpentry job that paid 15 rupees an hour. Trouble soon followed when Wolf attempted another attack on Frank, this time with a weapon. Doc's timely warning allowed Frank to defend himself with his jacket. Both men were sent to solitary confinement, a dreaded cage where no one wanted to go. After 2 weeks, Frank returned to his cell, finding a welcome note from Litmus delivered by his pet rat. Frank soon befriended his neighbor, Charlie, who had been imprisoned for a major theft. Charlie regretted his past mistakes, which increased his desire to escape. One day, Warden inspected the prison and discovered Doc's paintings. In a fit of rage, the warden ordered all of Doc's artwork removed, crushing Doc's spirit. Soon after, Doc cut off 3 of his fingers in rebellion, leaving Frank horrified. That night, Frank noticed a cockroach emerging from the vent in his cell. Realizing it could be a potential escape route, Frank shared his plan with John and Clarence, 2 brothers he had met. According to Frank, the prison's salt water and air had weakened the cement around the ventilation grills. They could scrape away the cement, reach the pipelines, and escape. Clarence worked in the clothes department, allowing him to steal raincoats and rubber cement to build life rafts. Frank began chipping away at the cement with the nail cutter, hiding his tool in the Bible whenever guards passed by. Progress was slow, so Frank fashioned a more effective tool by melting a spoon and attaching it to the nail cutter. One night, Frank nearly got caught when a guard patrolled near his cell, but English distracted him just in time. Frank later discovered screws in the ventilation grills, requiring a specialized tool to remove them. While working in the carpentry shop, Frank secretly crafted a tool to unscrew the grills. He smuggled the tool out by hiding it in his shoe, distracting the guards with a rusty piece of metal. That night, he successfully opened the grill, revealing a pipeline that could lead them to freedom. To avoid detection, the group decided to make fake heads to fool the guards during night checks. John collected hair from the barber shop, Charlie acquired paint, and Frank used newspapers to craft realistic human skulls. They also created fake ventilation grills to cover their escape. One night, Frank tested the escape route but was stopped by a locked iron door. Realizing they needed a stronger tool, Charlie spotted an old fan during music class. They traded sweets with Litmus to acquire it, using its parts to create a new tool capable of cutting through the iron door. On the night of the escape, Frank, John, and Clarence quietly climbed through the ventilation shafts, carefully avoiding the guards and searchlights. Meanwhile, Charlie hesitated, paralyzed by fear, ultimately missing his chance to escape. The trio reached the prison's outer wall, crossed a road, and inflated their makeshift boat on the shore. Paddling into the dark sea, they disappeared into the night. The next morning, guards discovered the fake heads in the prisoners' beds, sounding the alarm. Helicopters and boats scoured the waters, but Frank, John, and Clarence were never found. The warden claimed they had drowned, preserving the prison's reputation, but no bodies were ever recovered. Frank Morris became legendary as the man who escaped from Alcatraz. A secret search continued for a year, but the mystery remained unsolved. Their fate to this day is unknown. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.